Hey guys, welcome back. In this video, I'll be talking about PolyMAX by UAD, and it's an awesome synthesizer, and it's a pretty compact variant for a synthesizer, but the amount of sounds that you can make is pretty good. So in this, I'll just go with the overview. I've already talked about the Moog synthesizer. If you've not watched it, you can go and watch it as well. And there are a lot of similarities between that Moog synthesizer and the polymax, in that there were three oscillator. Here we have two, and there's like the different FM section here, and it also there's a sync section here which was not there in that one. And apart from that, there's like the arpeggiator, which I like really interested to talk about, and then there's a FX and the space effects. So I want to go with that. So apart from the initial what a synthesizer is, the bare bones of our synthesizer is, everything is there, and there's just some new things added in this. So the first thing that I want to talk about is the oscillator, and I already have a note here, and it's at C2. So now if I play it, you can hear the sound, right? So basically right now only one oscillator is playing and everything is off. Okay, so let me just turn out even more. So as you can see here, you have different shapes, as they're like it like where you can mess with, but the difference is you can even choose something in between, as you can see. So from triangle, as you go to saw, there's like a tri-saw, and from sawtooth to you, when you go to the pulse, there's like saw and square, and like its pulse is going, and it's like going to the 19%, where like it's very small. So I'm just gonna go to the like triangle, and slowly I'm increasing as I'm changing the sound, changing this knob, the sound is changing, right? So let's add oscillator 2 as well in this. The only one is working now, let me add 2 also. And so you know what, let's find a good sound, like something which we can mess with. In that, like if you remember in the Moog, there was like this poles, right? 32-foot pole and 16 and 8 and like 4 and 2. Here it's like basically it's like, I would say, like modern version, where it's like you can tune it on a coarse level, on a fine level, right? See, so let me just turn on the oscillator off. I turn off the oscillator 2, and only one is playing. So at this moment, this coarse knob, let me just take it, listen to the sound. I think it will be far better if I increase this. And the fine is basically the like where this is going, like we're jumping higher with every single step. It will not jump that high, it will look very fine. Right, so now let's get back to our oscillator 2 and add that. And so at this moment, the both of oscillators running, and then we have this third option, which is noise, right? So there's like, you can see this P is a pink noise and white is a whiteness, right? Once you understand, we have this mixer where you can mix your noise oscillators. Then you have this mod section. This mod is basically connected to LFO or envelope, right? LFO here, when I'll come, I'll talk about that, and the envelope is here. So basically, when you choose whatever the mod source you're choosing, if you're going for LFO, that means how much you're adding, whatever you're doing here will be determined by here, what's happening, right? So let me just get it first, just hear it. I've turned only the oscillator 1 on, okay, and we are back at the like at the center, okay. So I'm gonna turn on the mod and listen to it. So now I'm here at the LFO. So as I'm gonna change it, and this has been used as a mod, right? There's a sync button. Sync button is also what it will do is, whatever your project will be, your DAW, whatever DAW you're running, it will sync to that. So as you can hear it, as I'm changing from triangle to ramp down to ramp up, the LFO, the way, the mod is happening is changing. Then one thing I want to talk about here is, apart from these four symbols, like these four: triangle, ramp down, ramp up, and square, there's this another one that is S plus H, which is sample and hold. In this, what will happen is, the sample play, it will hold, and another sample play, it will hold. It will be very random. So listen to what happens. And now it's a similar, right? Here also you have the same mod, and there's envelope. So when this envelope is on, whatever happening here will change. So now there's like another knob that's very important here, and which is this FM, and that is what's going to happen is, the frequency modulation will happen from oscillator 2, and it will affect oscillator 1. So right now oscillator is completely off. Okay, so now I'm going to increase the oscillator, this knob for the FM2, which is basically the oscillator 2, how the frequency of 2 will affect the oscillator 1. So I have just increased it just a little bit, and it's already sounding like that because it was at a very high level. So I'll reduce it. So you have two options, apart from, you can now, if you can see, oscillator is completely off. So what is happening is going from here to here. So what's happening is already there's a mod running. So that means the LFO is impacting here, the modulation. And then there's also LFO working here. So apart from that, we also have a sync knob, and listen to what happens when I'm using the sync. Okay, and for that I need my oscillator running first. And now at this moment both of the oscillators are running, oscillator 1 and 2, and FM is completely off. And listen to what happens. Okay, I've reduced the oscillator 2 and I'm increasing. Listen to the sound. So now I'm going to turn it to completely to the other side, and now listen to what happens to the sound. You can hear it better when oscillator 2 is running. Right, but if when the oscillator 1 is running, you may not be able to hear what's happening. Right, let's add 2 as well. Now let's add LF as well. Now let's even add some FM and noise as well. Let's see what happens then. So that we have a sound playing now. Let's turn back off everything. So now because we can go to the filters. So now let's get back to filters. We have already messed with this whole area. And in this part, as you can see, like there's a filter, the main is a cutoff. The cutoff is basically If you look at the spectrum here, see what happens. Like we are losing our higher frequencies, and then you have a resonance, right? So like there's like a bump or a at the end point where the cutoff is, and in this there's like this modes, right? And in that there's a low pass, and then there's a band pass, there's like high pass, and there's like notch. So let's go with the low pass. And in before that I also want to talk about this pole. There's like 2 and 4. What's happening is in that 2 and 4 is how I can explain you as, let me get a EQ. And now imagine like we are at a high pass. Okay, let's go for this. On this I have like turned to the high pass, and what's going to happen is in this high pass, like we are cutting here, and like there's like this happen, right? But it's like it says 2 and 4, right? So basically what's happening is this thing, if like it's a 2, it will be something like that. When it will be like 4, it will be something like that. So basically the where it's cutting, it's gotten sharper, right? So let me delete this, and let's get back to our sound. Right, so now I'm at the high pass, right? That's why when I'm like going like this, I can only hear the higher sounds but like not the lower sounds, because I'm cutting from the the low to high. Let's get back to our high to low. Now it's like opposite, which you usually find in all other basically all synthesizers. And this band pass is basically like there's like at a certain band it's happening. Look at the spectrum what's happening. And now if I increase the resonance, it will be even more. At this moment, just look at the frequency spectrum. Right now it's 4, okay? That means like I'm cutting more, like aggressively. So if I turn on the second, look at the waveform what's happening and listen to the sound. Is when you hear it like there's like now more frequencies are coming through. Right, so let's go and now check out our envelope, LFO and key. Your envelope is basically here. So what's happening is like when it's basically modulating. Okay, so like whatever you're doing here will be used as a way to modulate these parameters. So right now the whole envelope ADSR, attack, decay, sustain, release, and this velocity, it's impacting whatever is happening, the how much modulation I'm using here. Now we have LFO here. If I've already played with LFO, what's gonna happen is listen to it. Let's increase it. It's messing with the cutoff. So what's happening is like it's like basically this like comes something like this is happening and all like. Okay. So what this key you want to do is if you have like your keyboard playing, and according to the notes what's playing, it's gonna mess with the cutoff. So if I have a key which is playing at a lower tone, it's gonna go here. If I'm gonna play at a higher note, like when I'm gonna play at a higher note, it's gonna go here. So basically, according to where the key is being hit, the cutoff will change. Like the frequency of the cutoff will change. Right. So now let's get back to our. I've already talked about this LFO, and now there's like this output where you have like the main output, how loud you want, and then there's the option of going to mono, and this legato. So like when you're playing, the keys when वो भी निकाल देना मोनो लेगाटो वाला, ठीक है? 1 2 3 start. So in that there's also unison. How many voices. So as you can hear it, as I turn on the mono, Right now it's just like one sound is played, right? Like one voice. Now it's there are more. So basically, when you turn on the unison, you'll have more voices playing. Right? That's the difference. Then there's a voice panning. I have not talked about it. So basically, what this voice panning does is, as you're playing and you're like changing notes, you're gonna hear it. The sound is being panned. Just you're gonna hear it, and when it's zero, it's like a center. It's very good, when you're playing with unison, if you go to the voice panning and put it to listen to the sound. Listen to the sound. When it's 0, 1, and 2. And this will impact here, the bend, how much you want. Right. So let me just reduce the bend amount and also the oscillator 2 and this sync. And let me just turn off this. And right now, since the voice is panning, I've just got it back center. So now we'll look at the amplifier. So we have our attack, decay, sustain, release, and what's happening is like how the sound is gonna come, right? It is basically how the sound is being amplified. Now depending on what sound that you need, like so if you want something percussive or if you want something to like just hit and just go like plucky or like something like that, you will keep the attack down. Or if you are going for something like more pad, like you can just keep it at a higher and like also add some release. Now the next thing that I want to talk about is the arpeggiator. Arpeggiator is basically like the sound will be like arpeggiated and you can hear what's happening. Right now I have 2 notes playing. I've added a note. So right now we have like a C2 and like there's my E2 right now, right? So like these 2 notes are there playing. So let's hear what happens. Right, I've turned on the arpeggiator and then we have this rate, at how it will play. Let it something. And I'm going to hit the speed parameters. Right. Now if I change this up and down these positions, like this up and down, like, and this like up, or this is down, and this like random. Now there's an octave range, right? Listen to what happens, because once I turn this on, you can hear like this, like the note will jump to the next octave. So this is extremely good if you're making something like playing with chords, but at the same you want it to be arpeggiated. So like it's a pretty good way to arpeggiate that note. Now it's like it's just playing in that 1 octave range. Now it's like playing at a 2 octave range. Now it's playing at a 3 octave range. Right. So now after understanding these things, then we have our mod effects. These like we have 3 mod effects here. Let me just turn off our mod arpeggiator. Now in this mod, what's gonna happen is you have three features like this phaser, flanger, and chorus, and then there's like this effects, like delay and reverb, right? So let's first hear what happens here. I have increased the depth to the max, right? Now if I even turn on the arpeggiator, listen to the sound. This is what I was talking about. Like these things, like especially arpeggiator, mod effects, and space effects, like make this, like even more versatile to mess with the sound and like make some lush sound. Like that's the thing that you can do with this. Listen to the flanger, the chorus. Since I'm running chorus, let me add oscillator to as well, and let me also start this unison. So much things that you can do with this synthesizer. Now let's come to space effects. So right now, let me just get to the delay first. Like your amount, time, and feedback, right? Like these are like the three knobs that we did. I have clicked on the sync button, so like it's syncing with the tempo of the project, whatever it's might be running. So let me reduce the feedback. I think I've just gone way too much. So now hear the sound. I'm gonna play it and then I'll stop. Okay. You can hear the sound playing. Let me go to 1/4. Right. So with this you got all these effects also now this time. So you don't have to like just take your synthesizer and like add another in chain like what effect you want to make it. Here you're already built in. Let's add some reverb. Basically you have to short and long, nothing much. You can go brighter or not, depending on what you want. And there's like a longer one, the horn. If you notice, in like both of these cases, spring and hall, the sync button does not work. Right, only with the delay. So with that, now we have a pretty good idea of like what this whole thing is. So I'll just like wrap up with just give you a few things. If even if you go with the presets here, you can see there are like tons of presets you can choose. Right, like there's like a section of best of, so like you can like the best songs are part of that. Yeah, I like this song. Right, so they're like, I'm just gonna go, you can just play it, choose it and mess with it. So with that, now we have gone through the oscillator 1, oscillator 2, the mix, and then the filters, the FM and the sync knob, and the LFO output, envelope, amplifier, wheels, the arpeggiator, mod, and space effects.